first question is, how could you apply creativity to your line of work? Second one is, what is a way that our schools can better promote creativity? And the third one is, a great example of how creativity is achieved, great things, is Thomas Edison's invention of the light bulb. What is another great example of how creativity turned into a great achievement? And our last one is, many schools put creativity below skills like mathematics, writing, and humanities. Do you believe that this ideology is wrong? Why or why not?
Okay. Being in this class, I think that we all would say that we consider ourselves creative. And I think that's a really important thing that we're just kind of missing in a lot of school, in a lot of classes, and just kind of an overlooked ability that I think that we just don't put enough emphasis on. And I think that it could actually be really beneficial to a lot of people's lives. I think you'll see some of the greatest inventors or some of the greatest artists of our times. They weren't really like the most technically knowledgeable of everything. They didn't know everything, but they knew enough and they believed enough in a certain idea that they were willing to go out of their way and take the chance of failing, and eventually they did succeed. And like we wanted to use examples like a picture of Stan Lee here by Trevor. It's a really good picture. It really is. But when Stan Lee first started out, he wasn't automatically this great artist and this brilliant comic book.
He did storyboarding and stuff like that. He didn't even start off writing heroes or anything.
Yeah, but he eventually became something that pretty much everyone in this room came to know and love. I'm sure, everyone enjoys superheroes to an extent. But, there was, at his time, it was, when he first started out, it had just been after the Great Depression, things had really not been working out, and taking a chance on drawing pictures was just unheard of. So, the fact that he put so much emphasis on creativity is really kind of something that we wanted to get at in this. And when we're talking about creativity, kind of wanted to talk about the future too. So we have this sort of display here that's future is unpredictable. And even especially in our lifetime, actually, things have just been accelerating so rapidly that you really can't predict anything. Like we would show this CRT monitor here from 2000, just big, bulky monitor, and really only is useful for one thing. And then we'd have another display, which is like a small little smartphone in there, and it'd be 2015. And we just display how, in that short period of time, in everyone's lifetime here, just the extreme differences in technology, and how we can't just have this static level of learning for everything. We have to be able to go out of our bounds and to be able to think of things that just aren't fathomable at this time, because they're going to be in the future. So,
like just 5 years ago, we didn't even have touchscreen phones 5 years ago.
no, not to the extent that we have them now. They're just, we take having all this technology for granted now, but you couldn't even think about something like this 5 to 10 years ago. And we also wanted to kind of get the teacher's opinion, so we had sort of,
You. Oh.
we have a teacher putting in the password. Yeah. It's going to be a part of our display. It's going to be really nice. It's a long password.
It's a beautiful password.
But we wanted to have the teacher quotes and just what they thought about it, how they think that they can get their line of work to be more creative and to think more outside of the box compared to just learning how to do something and then taking a test and finishing it. And we also wanted to kind of show that kind of an idea of creativity is not to be afraid to be wrong, because like in our society now, we kind of put a lot of emphasis on always being right, and even if like you're not 100% right, you have to stick to your guns and always be the person who wins. And I think that that's not really a good idea. I think that we need to start thinking about working together and being able to pass ideas on to each other without somebody being insulted by the possibility of there not always being right.
Like I said just 5 minutes ago when I was talking with Lionel and Josh, if you're an artist, you'll notice that your biggest critic is always going to be yourself, being an artist. And I should know that personally. I'd spend hours drawing sketches and then end up throwing them and looking back at them.
And finally, another kind of big important part of this, this is a quote by Pablo Picasso. It says that all children are born artists, and it's a belief that everyone has the ability to be creative. It's not a learned skill, but it's a skill that you kind of have to, I guess, promote. You have to really feed and help it grow along with you. And what I think that we kind of take away from that now in schools and in the workforce, we just try to get as much out of people as we can, and then really allow them to actually express themselves in any way. So yeah, that's our presentation.
Good. Questions for those guys? Why'd you guys choose to go with creativity versus like just the standard, hey, put up some work that we've done and stuff like that?
Well, we were kind of thinking, like, we saw some of the other ones, and they were kind of like what this in the workplace is and important parts of the workplace, and we just kind of thought, well, nobody really looks at creativity in this.
Good.
And we both really
It's kind of
think,
like the most important part about this job.
Absolutely. Good. I really like that. Any other questions? Very good. Good job, guys.